يعلم مثاقيل الجبال ومكائل البحار وعدد قطر الأمطار وعدد ورق الأشجار وعدد ما أظلم عليه الليل وما أشرق عليه النهار ولا تواري منه سماء سماء ولا أرض أرضا الحلال ما أحللت والحرام ما حرمت والدين ما شرعت والأمر ما قضيت الخلق خلقك والعبد عبدك وأنت الله الرؤوف الرحيم. وصلى الله تعالى على حبيبه ونبيه صلى الله عليه وسلم. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن هذا القرآن يهدي للتي هي أقوم ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا كبيرا. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الذي ليس في جوفه شيء من القرآن كالبيت الخرب، أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I hope everyone is doing well today, inshallah. So today, inshallah, it will be a little different, so we don't need to panic. Two things I have to say before we begin with the eighth class. Today, the session will not be as long as it normally is. We will only do Surah all the way until the end of Surah An'am. And inshallah, tomorrow we will do Surah A'raf. We will do the entire Surah A'raf tomorrow. In Surah A'raf, inshallah, now, just before I begin, then I will tell you what we will do tomorrow. In Surah A'raf, inshallah, we will cover the stories of Bani Israel in full details. Thereafter, we will talk about the people of A'raf, as this surah is named after the people of A'raf. So who are the people of A'raf? We will do about them as well, inshallah. Tomorrow, we will do stories of Hud alayhi salam, Salih alayhi salam, as well as Shu'aib alayhi salam. As you know, all of these stories are mentioned with full details in Surah A'raf, as well as the story of Adam alayhi salam. So today and tomorrow, I've said this before, today's class will be shorter than it normally is, and tomorrow's class may be longer than it normally is. So we have to be a little patient. Inshallah. So today, then again, do not worry. Today's class will be a little short, perhaps I don't know as well, subhanAllah, perhaps 35 minutes or 40 minutes. So basically shorter than what it normally is. And tomorrow's class may be longer, perhaps an hour and 30 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes. Allahu Akbar. Now, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, we will start with our Surah An'am. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks of the request of the mushrikeen which they had made. وَلَوْ أَنَّنَا نَزَّلْنَا إِلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةَ وَكَلَّمَهُمُ الْمَوْتَى وَحَشَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ قُبُلًا مَا كَانُوا لِيُؤْمِنُوا إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ يَجْهَلُونَ. Now these were some of the. Now this ayah was revealed after their request. Now, what was their request? They asked Allah Ta'ala they asked Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for angels to descend. And Allah Ta'ala says this as well. Even if we were to send down angels, thereafter, the second request they had was they asked for their forefathers to be resurrected before their eyes. So Allah Ta'ala says, now the first request, now this is in response to the first request and the second request. وَلَوْ أَنَّنَا نَزَّلْنَا إِلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةَ, if we were to send upon them angels, وَكَلَّمَهُمُ الْمَوْتَى, thereafter their forefathers, the deceased people, were to speak to them, وَحَشَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ قُبُلًا مَا كَانُوا لِيُؤْمِنُوا إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. That even after doing all this, and even if we were to resurrect people before them, even if we were to resurrect all the creation before them, people from different tribes, different nations, مَا كَانُوا لِيُؤْمِنُوا, even now, despite of seeing all this, they will still not believe in Allah Ta'ala. إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ يَجْهَلُونَ. Only if Allah Ta'ala wishes for them to be guided, they will be guided. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ يَجْهَلُونَ. But most of them are ignorant. They are unaware. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ عَدُوًّا شَيَاطِينَ الْإِنسِ وَالْجِنِّ يُوحِي بَعْضُهُمْ إِلَى بَعْضٍ زُخْرُفَ الْقَوْلِ غُرُورًا وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ مَا فَعَلُوهُ فَذَرْهُمْ وَمَا يَفْتَرُونَ. Now, then again here, Allah Ta'ala says, we have created for amongst now every prophet that we have created. Now, people, either it was from people or either they were of jinns. They afflicted pain to them. Now, moving on, these ayahs, now from here, وَلَوْ شَاءَ وَلِتَصْغَى إِلَيْهِ أَفْئِدَةُ الَّذِينَ. And the ayahs coming along. These ayahs were revealed in response to what disbelievers used to say and what they used to think. So in the following ayahs, and in this ayah as well, وَمَا لَكُمْ أَلَّا تَأْكُلُوا مِمَّا ذُكِرَ اسْمُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. Ayah number 119. Now, all the way, and it goes all the way until ayah number 122. 122. Sorry, not 122. It goes all the way until ayah number 121. 121. Now then again, these ayahs were revealed in response to what disbelievers used to say and what they used to think. They would consider those things to be halal, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala considered haram. Example, if an animal dies a natural death, it is haram for Muslims to consume its meat. Now, it was hard for them to understand this and digest this, as they would say an animal who dies natural death is haram. So now this is what they are opposing to the Muslims. They are saying, and this is what they used to say. They said, okay, so to your claim, if an animal dies, natural death, it is considered haram. But the same animal, if you slaughter this animal and you slaughter it by the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it becomes halal. So for instance, you have a goat now, or you have a sheep. Now as Muslims, we know goat and sheep are halal by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, they would say, now this sheep, if a sheep dies natural death, it is haram. And the same sheep, if it were to be slaughtered by the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it becomes halal. How is this possible? So this was something that they did not understand. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala thereafter gives them clarifications. After clarification are given to them, and another explanation is given to them that an animal that dies a natural death, the blood stays in the body. Now, when the blood stays in the body, it contaminates it, ruins the meat. Now, this is out of natural death. But when an animal is slaughtered, the blood comes out. It does not stay in the body. It does not stay in the meat. So this is why it becomes healthier. The blood does not contaminate the meat. Now, this is also in the tafsir of this ayah. Now, moving on. أَوَمَنْ كَانَ مَيْتًا فَأَحْيَيْنَاهُ وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُ نُورًا يَمْشِي بِهِ فِي النَّاسِ كَمَنْ مَثَلَهُ فِي الظُّلُمَاتِ مِنْهَا كَذَلِكَ زُيِّنَ لِلْكَافِرِينَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Now, here in this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala compares Iman to Kufr. Now, as Allah ta'ala says, أَوَمَنْ كَانَ مَيْتًا, now he's comparing the two. أَوَمَنْ كَانَ مَيْتًا, as for that person who was dead, فَأَحْيَيْنَاهُ, thereafter we gave him life, وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُ نُورًا يَمْشِي بِهِ فِي النَّاسِ, thereafter we provided him with nur, with some light. Now, this nur right here, Nuran, is referring to the light of Iman. Thereafter I will explain what يَمْشِي بِهِ فِي النَّاسِ means. كَمَا مَثَلَهُ فِي الظُّلُمَاتِ لَيْسَ بِخَارِجٍ مِنْهَا. Now he is comparing the two and saying these two are not equal. A person who has not been given light and a person who has been given light. Now, my dear respected brothers and sisters, this ayah right here, وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُ نُورًا يَمْشِي بِهِ فِي النَّاسِ. Now then again, I've said this before. Allah Ta'ala compares a person who he has guided, a person who has gained and achieved guidance, to that person who has not been guided. Now here, نُورًا يَمْشِي بِهِ فِي النَّاسِ. Mufassirin and ulama say this is a clear indication that a person, when Allah Ta'ala has given him iman, when Allah Ta'ala has guided him, this person should not isolate himself from dunya. They have completely isolated themselves from dunya. They have completely isolated themselves from this world. Now then again, I'll further clarify. This means now a person, nuran yamshi bihi fi nas, means a person should act when he is making a business transaction, when he is with his family, when he is intermingling with other people, when he is basically consoling or consulting other people. Islam should also be applied at that time. Islam should not only be applied in the masjid. Islam should not only be applied at the house. Islam should be applied every single day, every single moment, every single hour, every single minute, every single second. Now, yamshi bihi fin nas. This also means that you go and spread Islam between people. Nurun yamshi bihi fin nas. Do not be of that person, do not become of that person who has completely isolated himself from dunya, who now let alone, talking to people about Islam, he does not even feel like looking at people. Now he is completely, then again, he is in complete solitude, in complete isolation. So this is what Mufassirin say as well. Nuran yamshi bihi fin nas means that now your responsibility is not only to yourself, your responsibility is to also invite others to Islam. Your responsibility is also to bring and to teach others of Islam as well when you are having your business meeting, to apply Islam when you are making a trade, to apply Islam when you are selling something, to apply Islam when you are buying something, to apply Islam when you're going to the store to buy something. So this is the gist of this. Now moving on from وَكَذَلِكَ, ayah number 123, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا فِي كُلِّ قَرْيَةٍ أَكَابِرَ مُجْرِمِيهَا لِيَمْكُرُوا فِيهَا وَمَا يَمْكُرُونَ إِلَّا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ وَإِذَا جَاءَتْهُمْ آيَةٌ قَالُوا لَن نُؤْمِنَ حَتَّى نُؤْتَى مِثْلَ مَا أُوتِيَ رُسُلُ اللَّهِ اللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ حَيْثُ يَجْعَلُ رِسَالَتَهُ سيصيب الذين أجرموا صغار عند الله وعذاب شديد بما كانوا يمكرون. Now here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is consoling Muslims. Now Allah ta'ala is consoling Muslims. The reason why He is consoling Muslims is because at this moment non-Muslims were torturing Muslims. Not only physically but also mentally as well. To their claim, as they would say, you are on the false religion, you are not on the right religion, and now at times they would also curse at them. So this was a mental torture, and at the same time, Muslims would be physically tortured as well. So then again, Allah Ta'ala to console Muslims, and over again, when we read the Quran, throughout Quran, Allah Ta'ala will console Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As we read yesterday, Allah Ta'ala said, Ya Rasulullah, their words shall not harm you, their words shall not grieve you, because they are not denying you, rather these oppressors are denying the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here then again Allah Ta'ala is saying, don't feel afraid, because of these, every single nation, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا فِي كُلِّ قَرْيَةٍ, every single nation, أَكَابِرُ مُجْرِمِيهَا لِيَمْكُرُوا فِيهَا. Every single nation has this, the people of Musa alayhi salam. They tortured Musa alayhi salam. They not tortured, they caused him pain. They caused Musa alayhi salam pain. They caused Harun alayhi salam pain. They caused pain to those people who were the followers of Musa alayhi salam. Similarly, the followers of Isa alayhi salam faced the same thing. The followers of Ibrahim alayhi salam, the followers of other prophets, they faced the same things. So you don't worry. Inshallah, Allah Ta'ala will give you your rewards. And as for these oppressors, for them will be عند الله سيصيب الذين أجرموا صغار عند الله وعذاب شديد. Now as for these people who are going against you, for them, don't worry, I have prepared a severe punishment. Now moving on to ayah number 125. فمن يرد الله أن يهديه يشرح صدره للإسلام ومن يرد أن يضله يجعل صدره ضيقا حرجا كأنما يصعد في السماء كذلك يجعل الله الرجس على الذين لا يؤمنون وهذا صراط ربك مستقيما. Now, my dear respected brothers and sisters, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the feeling of those whose hearts are open to Islam and those hearts who aren't open to Islam. So those, Allah Ta'ala describes them and how they feel. The heart of a person who has been truly guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and those hearts who have not been guided, those souls who have not been guided, those individuals who have not been guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now here, فَمَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. If or when Allah Ta'ala intends for a person's guidance, He opens his chest. Now, Abdullah bin Mas'ud anhu narrates, when this ayah was revealed, فَمَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. When this ayah was revealed, Sahaba radiallahu anhum majma'in asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for elaboration and for an explanation of this ayah, for a tafsir of this ayah. So he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, a light is placed in the heart of a believer. A light, Allah Ta'ala places a light in the heart of a believer. Thereafter, his heart is able to accept truth with ease and dislikes all that is against the truth. So then again, Allah Ta'ala places a light in his heart, and it is easy for this person to accept the truth. Now, for instance, and we can take an example, when we find people who when we talk to them about the benefits of salah, when we talk to them about the benefits of salah, right away their heart opens up. And this, my dear respected brother, this is a ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is Allah ta'ala who has opened their heart. Because Allah ta'ala has placed the light, Allah ta'ala has placed the sweetness of iman, the sweetness of performing good deeds. They further asked, Ya Allah, what are the signs? So he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this person works towards akhirah. Now, a person who's been truly guided, if Allah Ta'ala opens the heart of a person, this is his quality, that he works towards the akhirah and he prepares for death before death comes to him. As for the other person, it becomes hard for him to accept the truth. Whenever he hears the kalam of Allah, whenever he hears Quran, he tends to turn away, he tends to hide here and there. Or whenever the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned, his heart begins to tremble and shake, and he feels restless. And he feels restless. He says, I'm not feeling comfortable here. Now, he thinks, I'm feeling uncomfortable here. I will feel more comfortable if I listen to songs. I will feel more comfortable if I go to the movies. Now, this is of that person who Allah Ta'ala, and subhanAllah, look at the example that Allah Ta'ala gives. وَمَنْ يُرِدْ أَنْ يُضِلَّهُ. And if Allah Ta'ala intends for someone to be misled, to be misguided, Allah Ta'ala has not wished good for this person, meaning guidance for this person. يَجْعَلْ صَدْرَهُ ضَيِّقًا حَرَجًا كَأَنَّمَا يَصَعَّدُ فِي السَّمَاءِ. Now, subhanAllah, look at the example that Allah Ta'ala gives here. Now, I'm not sure if you've ever climbed a mountain. Now, I have. So now, for those who have climbed a mountain, now when you are climbing a mountain or when you're ascending, you feel that your chest is about to break. You feel that your chest will just, compress together. Your chest will just come and your lungs are just going to burst. Similarly, when you are ascending, or when you are climbing a mountain, it becomes very hard for us to breathe. So Allah Ta'ala is comparing that example to that person if Allah Ta'ala has intended for this person to be misled. It becomes just as how it becomes hard for a person to breathe while he is climbing a mountain, it becomes hard for this person to accept the truth. Now, as we know, when we are climbing a mountain, it becomes very hard for us to breathe. Sometimes we have to press our chest, we have to press our stomachs together, or try different techniques to breathe better. Similarly, these people, it has become very hard for them to accept the truth. It has become very hard for them to accept what Allah Ta'ala is saying. Now, moving on to ayah number 133. وَلِكُلٍّ دَرَجَاتٌ مِمَّا عَمِلُوا وَمَا رَبُّكَ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا يَعْمَلُونَ. وَرَبُّكَ الْغَنِيُّ ذُو الرَّحْمَةِ إِنْ يَشَأْ يُذْهِبْكُمْ وَيَسْتَخْلِفْ مِنْ بَعْدِكُمْ مَا يَشَاءُ كَمَا أَنْشَأَكُمْ مِنْ ذُرِّيَّةِ قَوْمٍ آخَرِينَ. Now in this ayah, Allah Ta'ala says every nation will have different ranks. وَلِكُلٍّ دَرَجَاتٌ مِمَّا عَمِلُوا. The nation of Bani Israel, their amal will be judged according to their performance. Our amal will be judged differently. The people of Isa alayhi salam, the nation of Isa alayhi salam, their amal will be judged differently. So وَلِكُلٍّ دَرَجَاتٌ مِمَّا عَمِلُوا, and in each and every single nation will have different ranks. Now, once again, my dear respected brothers, I would like to say this again. This is, my dear respected brothers, honestly, we have to thank Allah Ta'ala every single day for giving us Islam. Not only giving us Islam, but making us from the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Because we have to understand the merit that Allah Ta'ala has given us, the merit that Allah Ta'ala has given Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Because Jannah is haram on all the prophets unless Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam enters into Jannah. And Jannah is haram on all the nations who came before us, the nation of Bani Israel, the people of Isa alayhi salam, and other prophets as well. It is haram for them to enter into Jannah until and unless the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam enters into Jannah. So then again, my dear respected brothers, this is something that we have to cherish and we have to thank Allah Ta'ala for. At the same time, Allah Ta'ala says, وَرَبُّكَ الْغَنِيُّ ذُو الرَّحْمَةِ. Mufassirin and ulama say, this is also to show that Allah Ta'ala is not in need of our worship. This also, Allah Ta'ala is ghani, self-sufficient. This also shows that Allah Ta'ala is not in need of us. By creating us, Allah Ta'ala does not want, by creating us, Allah Ta'ala is not in need of our worship. That Allah Ta'ala was in need of our worship, that's why He created us so we can worship. No, that's not the reason. Allah Ta'ala created us so we can get closer to Allah Ta'ala, so we can benefit from Allah Ta'ala, so we can gain from the treasures of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Dhul Rahmah, as Allah Ta'ala is very merciful. Because now we all know in this life, if we worship Allah Ta'ala, in return, inshallah, Allah Ta'ala will compensate us and He will give us Jannah. Now, from وَجَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ مِمَّا ذَرَأَ مِنَ الْحَرْثِ وَالْأَنْعَامِ, all the way until يَهْدِ الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ, all the way until here. Now, we will not go into the full details of this. From here, the Quran will mention different rituals of disbelievers, different rituals that were done, different practices that they used to do, that they used to perform at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and some even before. So what we will do is that we will just read this, and inshallah I will explain some of their rituals. وَجَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ مِمَّا ذَرَأَ مِنَ الْحَرْثِ وَالْأَنْعَامِ نَصِيبًا فَقَالُوا هَذَا لِلَّهِ بِزَعْمِهِمْ وَهَذَا لِشُرَكَائِنَا فَمَا كَانَ لِشُرَكَائِهِمْ فَلَا يَصِلُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَمَا كَانَ لِلَّهِ فَهُوَ يَصِلُ إِلَى شُرَكَائِهِمْ ساء ما يحكمون. وكذلك زين لكثير من المشركين قتل أولادهم شركاؤهم ليردوهم وليلبسوا عليهم دينهم ولو شاء الله ما فعلوه فذرهم وما يفترون. وقالوا هذه أنعام وحرث حجر لا يطعمها إلا من نشاء بزعمهم وأنعام حرمت ظهورها وأنعام لا يذكرون اسم الله عليها افتراء عليه سيجزيهم بما كانوا يفترون. وقالوا ما في بطون هذه الأنعام خالصة لذكورنا ومحرم على أزواجنا وإن يكن ميتة شركاء سيجزيهم وصفهم إنه حكيم عليم. قد خسر الذين قتلوا أولادهم سفها بغير علم وحرموا ما رزقهم الله افتراء على الله وما كانوا مهتدين. وهو الذي أنشأ جنات معروشات وغير معروشات والنخل والزرع مختلفا أكله والزيتون والرمان متشابها وغير متشابه كلوا من ثمره إذا أثمر وآتوا حقه يوم حصاده ولا تسرفوا إنه لا يحب المسرفين. ومن الأنعام حمولة وفرشا كلوا مما رزقكم الله ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين. Now all the way until ayah number 144. Now, my dear respected brothers, these were some of the rituals. And these ayahs also talk about jizya. Now I will mention, inshallah, some of their practices. Disbelievers used to kill their own daughters. If a girl was born, it would be a sign of disgrace for them. Now, then again, for those who just joined, I am talking about their rituals and their practices. Practices before Islam and some of their practices, some of the practices of non-believers during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They would bury her alive, as some people used to say. Malaika, na'udhu billah, are the daughters of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so how can they be suitable for us? How can we have daughters when, na'udhu billah, malaika, daughters are reserved for Allah ta'ala? Daughters are only reserved for Allah ta'ala. It is not befitting for a human, for us to have daughters. Moving on, number 2, some used to bury them because they used to say, how will we feed them? How will we provide them with food? Now, some also, in the subhanAllah, these were the practices that people used to have. Alhamdulillah, through Islam, Allah Ta'ala has erased, and Allah Ta'ala said, all these practices have been cancelled, because in Islam, because Islam erases all the practices that were there before Islam. Now, number 3, some used to say, our 10th son. Now look at this again. Our 10th son will be sacrificed for Allah and their idols. Number 4, some other practices they used to have. Some idols, some people would also reserve some portions. Now, some of them were farmers, some of them were, when they used to either go for, collect crops, or when, harvest, or whatever it may be, they may collect corn. And some would also, when they would sacrifice an animal, they would reserve a portion for Allah Ta'ala, and they would reserve a portion for their idols. And Allah Ta'ala has made this very clear. Allah Ta'ala said, this animal that you are, you've said this is a portion for Allah Ta'ala. This animal will never reach Allah Ta'ala. And even, this is my dear respected brothers, but we have to understand as well. A lot of people, they say, why do we have to sacrifice? On Yawm al-Eid, on Yawm al-Adha. Why do we have to do this? As Allah Ta'ala says, and He has made this clear, Allah Ta'ala says that blood will never reach Allah Ta'ala. Lan. Allah Ta'ala has used the word lan. It will never reach Allah Ta'ala. The blood will never reach Allah Ta'ala. The veins will never reach Allah Ta'ala. The meat will never reach Allah Ta'ala. Rather, what will reach Allah Ta'ala is our taqwa, is our iman, is our intention. This is what is going to reach Allah Ta'ala. Now, these people, of course, they would reserve portions for Allah Ta'ala. Now, this is what they would do. Now, a lot of times, what they would do is, and I've said this before, they would take a few portions from Allah Ta'ala's portion. And we have to understand Allah Ta'ala, is not in need and was not in need of their portions. They would take Allah Ta'ala's portion and they would actually give it and reserve it for the idols. Now, and what they will not do they will not do the opposite. Now, they would not take the portion of the idol. Okay, someone asked which ayah this is. Now, this is a brief explanation of ayah number 136. Nearly all the way until 144, and a few ayahs onwards as well. We are only doing an explanation. As I've said this before, we are not doing ayah by ayah because it will take too long. So I was saying, can someone remind me, please, of what I was saying? What was I speaking about? Oh, yes, Jazakallahu khairan. Portions, yes, that were reserved for the idols, yes. Jazakallahu khairan. So now these people, now look at their ideology. Look how they used to think. They would take portions from Allah Ta'ala and they would give it to the idols, but they would not do vice versa. They would not take portions from the idols and they give it to Allah Ta'ala, and they would say, our idols are more in need, and that's why we are taking portions from Allah Ta'ala and we are giving to our idols. our idols are more in need. And at the same time, as I mentioned before, Amr ibn Luhay was the person, the inventor of bringing all the idols. He was the mastermind of bringing all the idols to Mecca. And that because of him, people were engaged and indulged in these false activities. And moving on, some animals were also forbidden to sacrifice for their idols, and we spoke about them earlier as well. Sa'iba, Ham, and etc. At the same time, animals were also given names and reserved for idols. Some animals, they were given names and they were reserved for idols, meaning, for instance, now you had a type of animal. Now this type of animal was not, a person could not mount on this animal. At the same time, this person could not mount on this animal and go for Hajj and perform pilgrimage. And forbidden to mount on these animals at the time of Hajj. And these were the practices that they used to have. Now, moving on to ayah number 151. 151, all the way until ayah number 152. Ayah number 151, all the way until 152. So, and here Allah Ta'ala is telling Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah, you tell these people, what I have considered, what I have made haram. What I have made haram. Sorry, I just need a minute. Yes. So, Ya Rasulullah, you tell these people what I have made haram. And this is the list that goes on. Number one, do not associate any partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Ya Allah, because as we've mentioned before, that these people, they on their own, they used to consider those things haram which were considered halal by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So first Allah Ta'ala says, do not associate any partners with Allah Ta'ala. This is haram. Now Allah Ta'ala is giving them what is haram and what are the things that are haram. Associating partners with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Ya Rasulullah, you tell these people, this is haram. This act is haram. Number two, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Now this right here, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا means taking care of the parents. Now, if you go against this, that's what it means. If you go against this, if you don't take care of your parents, if you misbehave with them, if you disobey them, mistreat your parents, this is also haram. Number three, do not kill your children out of the fear of poverty. This, then again, my dear respected brothers, it's sad to say, then again, I will not go into the details of this, but this is happening today. People are killing their children. And then again, I will not go into the details of this, how they're killing their children, but they are doing this out of the fear of poverty. Now, number four, do not engage yourself in moral activities, whether if it is hidden or whether you do this act of immorality, whether you do it hidden or you do it openly. This act is also haram. This immoral act, and then again, I will not go into the details of this. Do not kill someone except if it's right for you to kill someone, meaning, in other words, qisas. Qisas is the only way when taking someone's blood becomes halal. Outside of qisas, it is not halal. Moving on, do not use the wealth of an orphan. Now, my dear respected brothers, if you want to write this, you can write this as well. Do not use the wealth of an orphan. Do not mistreat it. When the orphan turns bad, give his wealth back. If you don't give it back, this is haram. Do not do. Then again, وَأَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ وَالْمِيزَانَ بِالْقِسْطِ. Now this was the quality that the people of Shu'aib alayhi salam had. Now these people, they would do khiyana in measure and weight. They would do khiyana in measure and weight. Now this hadith mostly applies to those, this Quran ayah mostly applies to those who actually sell products. And most of them are actually of back home. When we find them, they sell products They say, and they have their own way of measuring. They place rocks, those the rocks on one panel, and they place fruits on the other panel. Now we don't really know how they do it, but they actually make some. Now, although the rock might say 2 pounds, but it's actually not 2 pounds. It might be a pound, but we don't know this. So this is why Allah Ta'ala says, fulfill your measurement. Take care of your measurement and your weight. If you don't do this, this is haram. If you do khiyana in this, doing khiyana in weight and measure, this is haram. Moving on, to fulfill the oath of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. To fulfill the oath of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala when you make your promise. Now, last but not least, do not follow a different path. Do not follow a different path other than the path of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Do not follow a different path other than the path of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Now moving on to ayah number 158. هل ينظرون إلا أن تأتيهم الملائكة أو يأتي ربك أو يأتي بعض آيات ربك يوم يأتي بعض آيات ربك لا ينفع نفسا إيمانها لم تكن آمنت من قبل أو كسبت في إيمانها خيرا قل انتظروا إنا منتظرون. Now, from here, my dear respected brothers, this is referring to the signs of Qiyamah. إلا أن تأتيهم الملائكة أو يأتي ربك أو يأتي بعض آيات ربك يوم يأتي بعض آيات ربك لا ينفع نفس إيمانها لم تكن آمنت من قبل أو كسبت في إيمانها خيرا قل انتظروا إنا منتظرون. Now, my dear respected brothers, as we know, the kuffar of Makkah, the disbelievers, they used to say, if you are claiming that if you are claiming of that if we don't believe in Allah Ta'ala, an adhab will descend upon us, Allah Ta'ala, the wrath of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will befall, the wrath of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will come onto us. If you are saying all these things are true, so where are all these things? As we read in the Quran as well, متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين. As they used to ask Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, متى هذا? When will this take place? This day, that the promised day, the Yawm al-Qiyamah, the Yawm al-Din, the day that you were talking about, the day of judgment, the day of resurrection. When will this take place? In kuntum sadiqin, when will it take place? Tell us the date. So here Allah Ta'ala says, now are these people, in response to their claim, Allah Ta'ala says, are these people waiting for malaika to descend? Are they waiting to see Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala? Ya Rasulullah, tell them when they will see malaika, when they will see Allah Ta'ala, on this day their iman, if they have not believed in Allah Ta'ala prior to this day, their iman will not benefit them. Their iman will not benefit them. As we know, when a person, because what is iman, as we spoke about this earlier, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ, those who believe in the unseen. Now this is what iman is. Now it is pretty obvious if a person is able to see angels on his right, on his left, if a person is able to see Allah Ta'ala, of course a person will believe in Allah Ta'ala. By seeing Allah Ta'ala, by seeing angels, by seeing all His creation, by seeing jinns, a person obviously will believe in Allah Ta'ala. Now Allah Ta'ala is saying, on Yawm al-Qiyamah, after seeing this, it will be too late. Because iman, the sifat, the quality of iman is الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. The sifat of those of believers are those who believe in the unseen. And this is what iman is, to believe in the unseen. So Allah Ta'ala says, are they waiting for Qiyamah to come? Are they waiting for malaika to descend? Are they waiting for me to come? After Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, under this tafsir of ayah, under the tafsir of this ayah, he gives examples of the signs of Qiyamah. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, Qiyamah will not come until these things happen, until these few signs come. Until these signs come. Number one, rising of the sun from west. And we know the sun rises from the east and it sets in west. So rising of the sun from west. Now, how will it happen? Now, there isn't a single day where the sun goes to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Ya Allah, do I have your permission to rise from the east? Do I have your permission to rise from the east? Allah Ta'ala says yes. Thereafter it goes and it sets in the west. A day will come where the sun will go to Allah Ta'ala and he will ask Allah Ta'ala, Ya Allah, do I have your permission to rise from east? Allah Ta'ala will say, no, you have to rise from where you set from. Where you set. You have to rise from where you set. Thereafter, the sun will go back and it will rise from west, and this will be the last day. Qiyamah will not come until this happens. Number two, smoke. Dukhan. Now, only Allah Ta'ala knows best, what dukhan is this referring to? Is this referring to dukhan on Yawm al-Qiyamah, or which dukhan this is referring to? Ulama have, there are different opinions of this, and then again we'll not go into the details of this, which dukhan. Number 3, Dabatul Ard, the beast. And as we know this as well, he will tell a person that you are a Muslim and you are a kafir. Dabatul Ard, the beast. Number 4, Yajuj and Majuj. Yajuj, in other words, in English, as they say, Gag and Magog. Now, my dear respected brothers, once, and this is where we have to understand as well. Now, some of us may have read this hadith of, Yajuj and Majuj. They will have long ears, they will have big eyes, they will be short, and their description. Now, this hadith, my dear respected brothers, this is not an authentic hadith. So, for a person to, when we were talking about Yajuj, Majuj, for a person to say they will have long ears, for a person to say they will be like this, their teeth will be that big, their eyes will be like this, it is false. It is not correct for a person to say all this. As I've mentioned, the source is not 100% reliable. So nevertheless, Yajuj and Majuj, only Allah Ta'ala knows their true form. Number 5, moving on, Nuzul of Isa alayhi salam. Descension of Isa alayhi salam. Qiyamah will not take place until Isa alayhi salam descends. Now, inshallah, my dear respected brothers and sisters, do not worry. We'll go into the full details of Qiyamah, the sights of Qiyamah, the signs of Qiyamah as well, later on. Right now is not the time. Moving on, number 6, the descension of Dajjal, the coming of Dajjal. Dajjal, Qiyamah will not take place until Dajjal comes. Thereafter, sinkholes. There will be 3 major sinkholes. One in east, one in west, and one in Jaziratul Arab. Jaziratul Arab. These will be 3 sinkholes. Last but not least, a fire that will come from a place, Aden, by the name of Aden. A fire will come from the place of Aden, and only Allah Ta'ala knows best how or when this fire will come. Nevertheless, we have to prepare ourselves for Qiyamah before these signs appear. That is basically the gist of this. Now, moving on. Inna alladhina, now this is ayah number 159. Ayah number 159. Ayah number 159. إن الذين فرقوا دينهم وكانوا شيعا لست منهم في شيء إنما أمرهم إلى الله ثم ينبئهم بما كانوا يفعلون. Now, my dear respected brothers and sisters, this is something else. This is another ayah, another very beautiful ayah, another key ayah of the Quran that we have to understand. إن الذين فرقوا دينهم وكانوا شيعا لست منهم في شيء إنما أمرهم إلى الله ثم ينبئهم بما كانوا يفعلون. Now, for those, my dear respected brothers, who may have little knowledge of Quran, do not think this is the Shia people. Shia. Okay, then again, do not please, you will be falsely misled if you think these are referring to as Shias, because it says وَكَانُوا شِيَعًا. Okay, so these are not, then again, to make clarifications, these are not Shias. So those who look for different ways and routes in Deen, Allah Ta'ala speaks of those people. Those who look for, and subhanAllah, honestly, we can see this today, it is happening today. Those who look for different ways and different routes in Deen, and they follow false ways. Now, what is the meaning of to follow false ways? To leave the basic and the fundamentals of Islam, to leave the principles of Islam, and to follow their own ways and their own thought. And my dear respected brothers and sisters, honestly, it is sad to say I've seen this today. And we can actually witness this today as well. How many people do you see that on their own, they tend to open the Quran and they say, you know what, I think Allah Ta'ala is trying to say this here. And I'm only saying this because I've seen this. And I've heard about this as well. I think, people today, they open hadith on their own. On their own, and they say, now the sad reality is, some of us perhaps take an Arabic course for a year or for 2 years. Now we think we know Arabic. Now we think we are the masters of Arabic. Or some of us take it for 4 years. We go to Medina, we go to Mecca, wherever we go, we learn. Some of us, even do it online. Some of us go to different universities to learn Arabic. Now, after learning Arabic, we think we are on top of the world. We think now we have the capability to open the Quran, we have the caliber to open the Quran, we have the ability to open the Quran. Now, alhamdulillah, we will extract our own masail from Quran. It's sad to say, my dear respected brothers, this is something that we have to, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this. I mean, and it's sad to say, honestly, I won't say where I was. I was at a place this one time. I was there for fundraising, and the imam had not come. So one of the brothers, one of the shura members, he announced that if there's any person amongst the crowd who thinks they're eligible to give a khutbah, please do so. Please proceed forward and give a khutbah. Now I was all the way in the back, and I was waiting for the imam because I did not know the imam, because I knew the imam personally. Now the imam did not tell me that he's not coming, so I was still waiting for the imam, and it would look bad on my part because it was his masjid to just go up and deliver the khutbah and then he walks in. So it would be bad on my part. So I did not go up and do the khutbah. Now, one brother, he stood up, who thought he was highly capable of delivering the khutbah, and I don't blame him. So he stood up. First, he failed to recite Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. And then again, don't get me wrong, I'm not making fun of this person. So he said Inna Allah wa malaikatahu, and then he got stuck. Then again, Inna Allah wa malaika yusalluna, and then he started adding his own ayah. He started coming up with his own ayah. Thereafter, he said, I'm really sorry, brothers. The reason why I'm not able to say this ayah properly is because my leg is hurting. And he said his leg is hurting. Now, what does his leg have to do with Quran ayah? But of course, my leg is hurting. My attention is going somewhere else. It's going towards my leg. That's why I'm not able to say this properly. Now, this was not the shocking part. What he said after was actually shocking. And, I can recall that the entire masjid said, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. What is this person saying? Now, these are the intellectuals of today. This person said, on the mimbar of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, my dear respected brothers and sisters, today we don't have to follow scholars. This is exactly what he said. These are his words. He said, today we don't have to follow scholars. Alhamdulillah, we have Google Translation. Alhamdulillah, we have whatever we need, whatever tafsir we need, whatever tafasir we need, whatever Quran we need, whatever masail we need, we have Google. We have Mufti Google to go to. And this is what he said. And honestly, I can recall the entire masjid, honestly, perhaps if this was back home, this person, I think he would have been hospitalized or something. So now, alhamdulillah, he should do shukr as well that we are in Canada. Nothing happened. So this is exactly what he said. He said, today we don't have to follow scholars. We can extract our own masail from Quran. We know Arabic. We can extract our own masail from books. We can extract our own masail from Google. This is what he said. And honestly, many people are like this today. They open the Quran today and they say, Na'udhu billah, Allah Ta'ala is trying to say this here, my dear respected brothers. Now, it is sad to say, how can you say Allah Ta'ala is trying to say this? By you saying Allah Ta'ala is trying to say this, that means you are saying Allah Ta'ala is incapable of delivering his message without ease. Now, this is what you're saying. My dear respected brothers, you should say that Allah Ta'ala has said this, my dear respected brothers. We humans, we are trying to understand what Allah Ta'ala is saying. This is the answer. This is what we should do. This is what we have to say. We don't have to say, and we should not say, and it is not okay for us to say, Allah Ta'ala is trying to say in this ayah that, oh people, do not worship idols. No, that's wrong. We are trying, us humans, we are weak. We are trying to find out what Allah Ta'ala is saying, what Allah Ta'ala has said in Quran. Now, then again, another scary hadith Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, and this comes in a authentic riwayah. For reference, for those who seek reference, this hadith is in Tirmidhi. This hadith is also in Abu Dawud. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, there will be 72 groups. There are 72 groups amongst the nation of Bani Israel. 72 groups. As for my ummah, there will be 73 groups. As for my ummah, there will be 73 groups. All but one will go to Jannah. Just imagine, all but one will go to Jannah. So now Sahaba radiyallahu anhum ajma'in, they asked Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, who are these people? What about this one group? Ya Rasulullah, give us their details. Who are these people? So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, these people are those ma ana alayhi wa ashabi. these people are those people who follow my way, who follow my path, and the path of my companions. And the path of my companions. Today, my dear respected brothers, then again, it is, this is an issue that needs to be addressed. That's why I'm addressing this. Now, in the beginning, I said the class will be short today. The lesson will be short today. Now, I do apologize. It's not short today. It's nearly the same time. The same amount of time. Now, my dear respected brothers, we have to understand today, Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in we have to understand the love of Sahaba that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had. The amount of love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had for his companions, and the amount of love his companions had for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Today, you'll find many people. Now, today, people curse. I'm saying this. They actually curse at Sahaba. Now look at the wa'id, look at the warning that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given. One thing we have to understand. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي. If you claim to love Allah, you follow me. Through me, you will get to Allah Ta'ala. Now Rasulullah sallallahu, and I'll clarify. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, those who love my companions, I love them. Those who hate and have enmity against my companions, I also have enmity and hate against those. So my dear respected brothers, this is one concept we have to understand. To get to Allah Ta'ala, we have to love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to love the Sahaba. Now what will happen if we will love Sahaba? Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will love us. Now what will happen when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will love us? Then directly Allah Ta'ala will love us. So this is my dear respected brothers and sisters. We have to read. We have to take some time out and read the lives of Sahaba. Have love for companions. Have love for the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As had it not been for companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we would not have been Muslims. It was because of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These were the people who spread out. Sahaba went to China. Sahaba went to Russia. Sahaba went to different places to do what? Not for their own pleasure, not for their own pleasure, not for their own amusement, only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only because so you and I can be Muslims today. So we have to have love for Sahaba as well. Now, my dear respected brothers, it comes in another hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu, and this is then again, pertaining to this ayah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, my la'na, my curse. Then again, what is la'na, my dear respected brothers? This is something that, Muslims today, this is a word that, we use for one another. We say, you're on your own. We say, la'na be on you. This is something where we have to stop ourselves from. La'na means, the true meaning of la'na is a person who is bari, a person who is saved, a person who is free from the mercy of Allah Ta'ala. In other words, a person who is going to Jahannam. Jahannam is his abode. That's what la'na means. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, my la'na falls upon 6 people. Number 1, he who adds his own information in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He who adds, now if you want to write this down, you can write this down as well. He who adds his own information, meaning he who adds his own thought into the book of Allah ta'ala. I think according to me, this will be like this ayah means this ayah means that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us from this. Ameen. Number 2, he who denies the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the qada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the decree of Allah ta'ala. Number 3, he who has been forcefully, a person who has forcefully, through force, he has appointed himself on Ummah Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Thereafter, so he has only appointed himself for this position so he can honor those whom Allah Ta'ala has disgraced, and he can disgrace those whom Allah Ta'ala has honored. That's his intention. Moving on, 4, that person who considers haram to be halal. Now, the tafsir of this hadith as well, that person who, now we know Mecca, the holy city, is sacred. We are not allowed to hunt in Mecca. And when we are in the state of ihram, we are not allowed to hunt when we are in the state of ihram. Now, this person who hunts on purpose whilst in the state of ihram, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, my la'na comes on this person as well. Number 5, this person who who dishonors, who makes fun of, who has hatred towards my family, meaning the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah also protect us from this. Today, you find many people who go against Ali radiallahu anhu. And we have to understand Ali radiallahu anhu is part of Ahlul Bayt. He's part of their family. You have people who go against Hassan and Hussein radiallahu anhu, Fatima radiallahu anhu. Now, how can someone go against the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? By going against the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a person is directly going against Rasulullah. By going against Rasulullah, a person is directly going against Allah. May Allah Ta'ala protect each and every single one of us, including myself, from this. Number 6, last but not least, he who has left my sunnah. A person who has left my sunnah. Now moving on to our another discussion. In ayah number 160, من جاء بالحسنة فله عشر أمثالها ومن جاء بالسيئة فلا يجزى إلا مثلها وهم لا يظلمون. SubhanAllah, this ayah speaks of the greatness and it speaks of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. من جاء بالحسنة فله عشر أمثالها. A person who comes with one good deed, Allah Ta'ala multiplies it by 10. Now in another hadith in Sahih Bukhari, and this hadith is mentioned in Sahih Muslim as well, من هم بحسنة فلم يعملها. Now a person who thinks of doing a good act. Now today, for instance, a person wishes to give sadaqah on the path of Allah. Now this person has intended to give $100 on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فلم يعملها, because of some reason he is not able to do so, or for instance he completely forgets that he made this intention. كتب الله تبارك وتعالى عنده حسنة يعملها. SubhanAllah, look at the blessing of Allah Ta'ala. Look at how great Allah Ta'ala is. A person who only intends. Now this person has not done it. He intends to donate $100 in the path of Allah Ta'ala. Now for some reason this has left his mind. Allah Ta'ala says, oh person, do not worry. I have written for you. You have given $100 in the path of Allah. SubhanAllah. Now on the other hand, وَإِنْ هَمَّ بِهَا. Now if a person thinks of a good deed, now then again this is referring to the mercy of Allah Ta'ala. وَإِنْ هَمَّ بِهَا. Now if a person thinks of doing or performing an act of good, performing a righteous act, فَعَمِلَهَا. Thereafter this person actually performs it. Now this person, he thinks that in his mind he thinks that I will feed a miskin today. I will feed an orphan today. فَعَمِلَهَا. Thereafter he actually feeds an orphan. كتب الله تبارك وتعالى, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 5, not 8, 10. عشر حسنات. 10 multiplied by 10. Not only this, إلى 700 ضعف إلى أضعاف كثيرة. Allah Ta'ala, this is just a number 10. In other words, 10 is basically just minimum. If Allah Ta'ala wants to give you rewards equivalent to 1 million, Allah Ta'ala will give you rewards equivalent to 1 million. Now, not only this, ضعف إلى أضعاف كثيرة. If Allah Ta'ala wants for a person to get 5 million, Allah Ta'ala will give him 5 million. Based on the purity and based on his intention. On the other hand, فَإِنْ هَمَّ بِسَيِّئَةٍ فَلَمْ يَعْمَلْهَا. This is also, my dear respected brothers, the mercy of Allah Ta'ala. وَإِنْ هَمَّ بِسَيِّئَةٍ. A person who intends to do something bad. Now this person, he has made firm intention that, today I have to go and watch a movie. Today I have to go to the cinema and I have to watch a movie, or I have to listen to the song today. فَلَمْ يَعْمَلْهَا. Now, for some reason, he's not able to do so. Now, his intention did not change. For some reason, he's not able to do so. Let's say he was not able to come up with an opportunity, or something happened, or whatever the reason may be. كَتَبَهَا اللَّهُ عِنْدَهُ حَسَنَةً كَامِلًا. Look at the mercy of Allah. Allah Ta'ala says, my person, if you have not committed a crime, you know what? I will still rate a good deed for you. This is the mercy of Allah Ta'ala. But on the other hand, then again, this is the mercy of Allah Ta'ala. When hamma biha, if a person thinks of doing something evil, فَعَمِلَهَا, thereafter he has done so, كَتَبَهَا اللَّهُ سَيِّئَةً وَاحِدَةً. Now this is then again, my dear respected brothers, the mercy of Allah. Allah Ta'ala says, you know what? I will not write 10 for you. For reward, if you do something good, I will write 10 for you, and I will multiply it. If you have done only one bad deed, you know what? In my book, in your book, it's written that you've only performed one bad deed. This is then again the mercy of Allah Ta'ala. Now, moving on to our last ayah, last but not least, ayah number 164. قُلْ أَغَيْرَ اللَّهِ أَبْغِي رَبًّا وَهُوَ رَبُّ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ ولا تكسب كل نفس إلا عليها ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى ثم إلى ربكم مرجعكم فينبئكم بما كنتم فيه تختلفون وهو الذي جعلكم خلائف الأرض ورفع بعضكم فوق بعض درجات ليبلوكم فيما آتاكم إن ربك سريع العقاب وإنه لغفور رحيم. Now, my dear respected brothers and sisters, what happened was at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the kuffar, the disbelievers, the non-believers, they went to the Muslims and they said, if you accept our religion, and this is why this ayah was revealed. They said, if you accept our religion, we will take the punishment on your behalf. So the punishment, look at what they're saying. They're saying, and you know, and how Muslims warned them about against the punishment of Allah Ta'ala. They said, if you accept our religion, you know, Allah Ta'ala will not punish you. You know, we'll say, you know what, we will come forth, we'll tell Allah Ta'ala to punish us on your behalf. This is what their claim was. So Allah Ta'ala made it very clear, وَلَا تَكْسِبُ كُلُّ نَفْسٍ إِلَّا عَلَيْهَا وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. And my dear respected brothers, there's also a very grave and a very great lesson that we have to take from this ayah as well. That, you know, whatever sin you do, it will fall on your shoulders. Whatever good you do, it will fall only on your shoulders. Now, if another person commits a crime, he commits a sin. Now, his sin will not fall on your shoulders. Unless if you have told this person to do this sin, then it will fall on your shoulders. Not only on your shoulders, but on his shoulders as well. My dear respected brothers and sisters, this is something that we have to understand today. Today, people are so worried, and today we are engaged and indulged in the sins of others. You know, today when we look at others, we say, you know, look at this person. You know, he's not coming to the masjid. This person, he's not coming. I don't see him for Isha Salah. This person, I don't see him reading Quran. Oh, person, are you reading Quran yourself? Now the question is, ask this same question to yourself. How much Quran are you reading? Who knows if maybe he's not, you know, he's not coming to the masjid because he's probably busy in other things. Who knows? Maybe he has to take care of his blind mother at home. Who knows? At the same time, my dear respected brothers, and one beautiful thing today, the reason why we have our connection with Allah Ta'ala is so weak, and this is with this I will inshallah conclude this at the end of this surah An-Nahl. Today we are so busy and indulged in looking at the acts of others that, you know, we don't even know our own acts. We don't know if today, now we look at the acts of others as if Jannah, as if we are part of Ashara Mubashara, as if Jannah is guaranteed for us. As if, you know, from now on, whatever action we will do, you know, Allah Ta'ala will forgive us. Now we can look at the faults of others. My dear respected brothers and sisters, I have to say, he who is aware of his faults, his own faults, if a person knows his own faults, he is oblivious to the faults of others. Today, na'udhu, it's sad to say we are not aware of our own faults. Today, when we look at ourselves in the mirror, when we look at our our a'mal, we think, oh, you know, we are perfect. You know, there's nothing wrong with this. We are praying our salah on time. Everything is perfect about us. When it comes to sadaqah, we give sadaqah on time. When it comes to zakah, we give zakah on time. When it comes to Ramadan, we are fasting in the month of Ramadan with perfection. You know, my dear respected brothers and sisters, you know, this is why our connection with Allah Ta'ala is weak, because we are worried about others. It comes in a beautiful hadith. من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه. From a Muslim's good conduct is to leave what does not concern him. Today, why does, you know, the pain of others, not the pain of others, the sins of others should not concern us. In return, we should actually make dua for them. Not only make dua for them, make dua for ourselves too. May Allah help us, may Allah help them as well. My dear respected brothers and sisters, our example, it's sad to say, is like this. Now, once there was a person, an old wise person, the boy. So he asked the boy, and he took a sheet of paper and he drew a small circle. He drew a small circle on the white sheet of paper, and he asked this old boy. He said, "Oh, old boy," not old boy. He asked this young boy. He said, "Oh boy, you know, this person. Oh boy, what do you see when you look at this paper?" So this boy said, "I see a black dot. I see a black dot." Now the old person said, "You see a black dot? You don't see anything else?" He says, "No, I don't see anything else. I only see a black dot." SubhanAllah, this is what he said. He said, this is the examples of humans today. He said, you have left all this white area and all you see is this white. All you see is this black dot. Today when we look at others, we overlook all the good that they've done, and if they have one bad quality or two bad qualities, we tend to tell others about their bad qualities. We overlook all the good that they've done. We overlook their righteousness. We overlook their piety. And yet we look at this one small thing, or this person does not read Quran in front of me. I don't see him. He is not obliged to read the Quran in front of you. This is my dear respected brothers. This is something that we have to understand. One last story I'll say. Someone asked Rabbi Basriya that why don't you send la'ana on shaitan? Why don't you send la'ana on shaitan? So, of course, Rabbi Basriya, of course, being a very pious lady, she said, how can I send la'ana on shaitan when I'm constantly engaged in the remembrance of Rahman? SubhanAllah, then again, she said, how can I send la'ana on shaitan when I'm constantly engaged in the remembrance of Rahman? I don't have time to send la'ana on shaitan because I'm too busy in the remembrance of Allah Ta'ala. So, my dear respected brothers, the remembrance of Allah Ta'ala has left our hearts, and this is why we are engaged in gossip, we are engaged in talking bad about others. Now, alhamdulillah, this brings, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from this. Ameen. Alhamdulillah, this brings us to the end of Surah An'am. Tomorrow, inshallah, be prepared everyone, inshallah, we will do the entire Surah A'raf. Now, like I said before, this may take an hour and a half, or it may be a little more than this. Then again, I apologize, it may be a little more than this, but we will do entire A'raf. That will, and by doing this, inshallah, we will be close to finishing our 10th juz as well. Or sorry, yes, we will be close to finishing our 10th juz. Now, before I make a small dua, as promised, I will do one hadith, and inshallah, one small amal. Now, as been narrated by Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, that a person who recites Hasbi Allahu la ilaha illahu alayhi tawakkaltu wa huwa rabbul arshil azim. A person then again who recites Hasbi Allahu la ilaha illahu alayhi tawakkaltu wa huwa rabbul arshil azim. A person who recites this 7 times in the morning, 7 times in the evening. What will happen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I will become enough for all his sorrow, for all his grief that he will have in this world and in the hereafter. Meaning Allah ta'ala will remove all the grief, all the sorrow from him in this world. Not only in this world, inshallah in the hereafter as well. All you have to say is, Hasbi Allah, Allah ta'ala is enough for me. La ilaha illahu. There is none worthy of worship besides him. Alayhi tawakkaltu. Upon him I rely on Allah Ta'ala. Wa huwa rabbul arshil azim. And he is the Lord of the great throne. All you have to do is Hasbi Allahu la ilaha illahu. Alayhi tawakkaltu. Wa huwa rabbul arshil azim. Inshallah, do this 7 times in the morning, 7 times in the evening. And again, morning is before the Dhuhr, evening is from Asr to Maghrib. Allah Ta'ala will relieve this person from all his grief, all the pain, all the agony that he is going through in this world, not only in this world, and inshallah in the hereafter as well. Now, as for the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was praying surah, and he said, Sami'a Allahu liman hamidah. Now, upon hearing this, one Sahabi, he said, رَبَّنَا وَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ حَمْدًا كَثِيرًا طَيِّبًا مُبَارَكًا فِيهِ. In another narration, we find رَبَّنَا وَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ حَمْدًا كَثِيرًا طَيِّبًا مُبَارَكًا, without the fee. Now, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam finished his salah, okay, I will repeat the dua once. I will write the dua as a matter of fact. No problem. Hasbi Allahu. Are you able to see this, please? If you're able to see this, please let me know. Jazakallah khair. You're standing in Hasbi Allahu la ilaha illahu alayhi tawakkaltu wa huwa rabbul arshil azim. This is the dua. So, moving on. Yeah, so now after this person, now after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam prayed salah, now after he finished his salah, he looked back and he said, Man al-mutakallim? Who's the one who said this? Now this person, the Sahabi, was scared because he was, now he actually added a few things. As you know, when a person gets up from ruku, he should say, but he added a few things. He said, رَبَّنَا وَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ حَمْدًا كَثِيرًا طَيِّبًا مُبَارَكًا فِيهِ. Now he was afraid, he said something wrong. He said he was afraid that, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam might reprimand him now. So in the beginning he was hesitant, he did not raise his hand. Then again Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, don't worry, don't say anything wrong. Did not say anything wrong. Who is the mutakallim? So the Sahabi raised his hand. And he narrates, when I went to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I was breathing heavily because he was scared. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the words that you've said, the words that you have said, I have seen 29 angels. I have seen 29 angels. يَبْتَذِرُونَهَا أَيُّهُمْ يَكْتُبُهَا أَوَّلٍ. They were competing with one another to see which one of them will write this first in their account. SubhanAllah, all you have to say, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to say this dua after ruku. And we should make this a habit. It is very simple. It is very easy. وَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ حَمْدًا كَثِيرًا طَيِّبًا مُبَارَكًا. You either say Mubarakan fi or Mubarakan, it is the same. Now, did everyone hear this? Is it? Can you please let me know if you have heard this? Just Jazakallah khairan. If you have heard this. Now, I'm assuming most of the brothers and sisters know this. Please explain it. What should I explain? Oh, the same. Okay, so should I say the story again, or should I repeat the dua? Should I repeat the dua again? Okay. So the dua, then again, it's رَبَّنَا وَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ حَمْدًا كَثِيرًا طَيِّبًا مُبَارَكًا. I will, for those, I will write it down as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi. Yeah?
Universal City is.
This is the dua. رَبَّنَا وَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ حَمْدًا كَثِيرًا طَيِّبًا مُبَارَكًا فِيهِ. The benefit of this, like I mentioned earlier, a Sahabi had said this. So now after Salah, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked who was the mutakallim who said this. When they found out that it was a Sahabi who had said this, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the thing that, this dua that you have made, I have seen 29 angels in one riwayah. I have seen 29 angels competing with one another to see which one of them will write this first. Okay, Okay, the simple explanation of this dua is رَبَّنَا, our Lord, وَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ, for you is praise, hamdan. Yes, you should recite this after ruku. You know, when a person gets up from rukus, a person says Sami Allahu liman hamda, and after you say Rabbana wa lakal hamd. Now, instead of saying only Rabbana wa lakal hamd, you should try saying Rabbana wa lakal hamdu hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fi. Now then again, it is not mandatory, it is not compulsory for a person to say this. By saying this, a person will only maximize his ajr. Now, Rabbana, our Lord, وَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ حَمْدًا كَثِيرًا, for you is praise in abundance, حَمْدًا كَثِيرًا, praise كَثِيرًا in abundance, طَيِّبًا, pure, مُبَارَكًا, there is blessing. That is the simple meaning of this. Now then again, Rabbana, our Lord, وَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ, for you is praise, حَمْدًا كَثِيرًا, praise in abundance, طَيِّبًا, pure, مُبَارَكًا, this is a simple translation, مُبَارَكًا فِيهِ, in which there is blessing. Okay, so these were, alhamdulillah, the two things. And I truly hope that every single brother or every person who is here is reciting Raditu Billahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam nabiyya 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the afternoon, 3 times in the morning. And once again, the reward, the benefit of this was that Allah Ta'ala will please you on the day of judgment. Allah Ta'ala will take this responsibility to please you. Now, with this, inshallah, tomorrow, inshallah, we will do وَإِيَّاكُمْ to each and every single person. Inshallah, tomorrow we will do Surah Al-Araf. We will talk about the story of Bani Israel, the story of Musa alayhi salam in full details. We will do the story of Shu'aib alayhi salam, the story of Hud alayhi salam, other prophets as well, and last but not least, the people of Araf. The people of Araf. The dua that I mentioned today, which dua? Yes, Hasbi Allahu la ilaha illahu alayhi tawakkaltu wa huwa rabbul arshil azim. Yes, 7 times in the morning, 7 times in the evening. And inshallah, Allah will be enough for you. Yes, that is correct. 7 times in the morning and 7 times in the evening. Then again, try reading it before the Dhuhr, and as for the evening, try reading it in between Asr and Maghrib. And tomorrow, last but not least, we'll also do about the people of Araf. Then again, my dear respected brothers, I need everyone to bear with me, to be a little patient tomorrow. As I've mentioned, I will try my best to, have everything said within the 2-hour mark. Inshallah, that will be our goal. But it may exceed. The hour and 30-minute mark. So then again, please be patient. Jazakallahu khairan for your time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to pray in the month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to give in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also enable us to fast in the month of Ramadan with ease. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also enable us to have love for Quran, to have love for Deen, to have love for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to have love for Sahaba, and to have love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who are proud of our identity, meaning who are proud of being Muslims. Ameen. Jazakallahu khairan for your time. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
This session is no longer being recorded.